Good morning, friends. Hello. How are you this morning? Hope you're doing great on this beautiful day. The sun is shining in the sanctuary, and I need to bring you up here today and just see the beauty of this place. We're going to talk for a bit about our time together with the film I got the opportunity to see last night and the opportunity to be a part of some of the great ministry that was happening around that. So we'll talk a little bit about that today. So hope everybody's doing all right. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Vicki. Yeah, happy to run you home if you want to wait 10 minutes. So, hey, Karen. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Good morning, friends. Good morning. All right, friends, let's get going this morning. It is the third day of December, and we are on this Advent journey where and so welcome. I had the opportunity last night to see this incredible film, which is called, we're backwards, The Making of Christmas. I will put the link to it. Is actually being shown on Amazon Prime, so you can see it. You can rent it there or whatever. But it's really an incredible film, done by a guy named Jim Hannon, and Jim was a ad executive in New York, doing all kinds of New York-y ad executive things, and became more and more disenchanted, not just with the world of advertising, but with his own encounter with what was happening with Christmas. And so he decided to take up this task of making this documentary called The Making of Christmas, and essentially how we have over these years made Christmas, because that's really what we have. We do it every year. We make our Christmas, right? With the great hymn, how shall I keep my Christmas? My heart whispered softly to me. And this question comes back to us again and again every year. How are we going to keep Christmas? Are we going to put up a tree? Are we going to hang some wreaths? Are we going to, what traditions will we keep? What things will we do? How will we hold it together? What gifts will we give? We again and again and again kind of encounter this question of the making of Christmas. And he does a really lovely and beautiful job of first going back into the history of the first celebrations of Christmas and in the year 200, and then goes all the way forward and brings us not only in a historical journey, but does that so that we can kind of pole vault over some of what we have I think lost in a way, or maybe not even lost, but we've lost in terms of the signal and the noise. This I think is really the question of our humanity these days, of all the things that we do, that we are in the sense of that that the signal has never changed. God's call to us has never changed. The reality of the world in which we live and have our being, the encounters with angels and devils and spirits and demons and all of that we've encountered, that we have in the course of our lives, none of that has changed, but the noise to the signal has. That there is this way in which we have lost, that it's harder in some ways to find the signal. It's kind of like those old-timey radios where we have to narrow in on the signal. And so I think and this film is a beautiful tribute to that effort. And so I encourage you to see it. But today is not just about a commercial for the film, but if that's all it was, that would be great, I think. But it is also this what the title of the film really prompted in me, which is what I want to encourage us to look at today, which is this notion of how should we keep our Christmas? If Christmas is made, and it is made, how will we make it? What will we do? How will we encounter it in the living of our days? There are these huge swaths that will invite us to consume, invite us to give gifts, invite us to spend money, there are these big movements. But there are also quieter movements within our hearts and within our own immortality that call us to this. I'm reminded of the great Helen Keller that says, "I believe in the immortality of the soul because I have within me immortal longings." And I think this Advent season is a season of immortal longings. That we know that within ourselves there are greater things yet to be had. We know within ourselves there are discontentments, and that they're holy discontentments in ways. They're not just, I want another cookie. That they are ways in which they open us and bring in us this a wider reality of our being, a wider idea of how we might be, and that we know them deep within our soul, that we might be able to love our friends better than we do. We might be able to love our spouse better than we do. We might be able to love our children better than we do. We might be able to love our world better than we do. We might be able to serve the wider good better than we do. And we might be able to know joy in the participation of that better than we do. And not just as an improvement project, but as a wholly new way. And that these longings that are put in us are not ours. They're not simply discontentments, but that they are actually portents. They are actually things, they're actually big foam fingers. That's what I like. They're big foam fingers pointing us towards these more beautiful and true things of our life. And so this question that this movie prompts of the making of Christmas, and that question of how then will we make our Christmas, has this way of inviting us and making us look into the depth of the desires within us. The great C.S. Lewis says it this way. He says, "I find in myself a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy. And so the only profitable explanation is that I was made for another world." Friends, we are made for a greater world, and not just the great by and by the way, not just the great by and by that will come, not just our heavenly sphere, but we're built for a greater world right here and right now. The world in which we live in this second. We're built for a better world right with the relations of the people around us, with the work that we put our hands to. We are born for a better relationship with that. Not just in some escape pod kind of pure truth, a point of spark which belongs entirely to God, which is never at our disposal, from which God disposes of our lives, which is inaccessible to the fantasies of our own mind and the brutalities of our own will. Friends, there is this way in which this question of how will we keep our Christmas, of the making of Christmas, how will we make our Christmas this season, invites us into that space beyond. The space beyond our own fantasies of our mind, the space beyond our own brutalities of our will, the space beyond that place where we will meet God face to face. And we will do it again and again and again. For such is what it is to live as a child of God, being made into the image of God. So, friends, I invite you to step into this, to watch this film. I'll put the link in the chat so that if you're looking for the link to the film, it is on Amazon Prime. It is called The Making of Christmas by a guy by the name of Jim Hannon. I know it's backwards. Sorry, everybody. But it has, I believe in it, a beautiful conversation, and features Fall River. If you need another piece of it, there's a little Fall River nod in there by the great work of my friend Father Rob Nemkovich at Blessed Trinity. But I hope it will all prompt you to encounter this question. I hope it will all prompt you to encounter this desire within yourself that the world can't satisfy, that the immortal longings that dwell within you, that we might find this Christmas tide, this Advent season of preparation, and this Christmas tide of Christmas love and grace, that we might find that and live into that and enjoy that as we make our Christmas in a mindful and intentional and real way, rather than be submitted to the great swaths and great movements and the great currents that the world would cast upon us. All right, peace and grace to you all, my friends, and we'll pick it up tomorrow with another 11:11.